If you're alone right now, pause this, turn on a light, close the curtains, because once you hear this, you can't unhear it. People think mirrors are harmless, just glass and silver. But every mirror holds two worlds. One you can see, the other sees you. This footage was never meant to be released. It was recovered from a house left untouched since 2019. The front door was locked from the inside. Plates were still on the table. The lights were on. But the family who lived there was gone. All that was found was a camera, still recording, aimed directly at a cracked mirror in the hallway. Officials tried to keep it quiet. But before they sealed the case, neighbors reported strange things. Windows reflecting rooms that didn't exist. Footsteps long after midnight. Faces watching from darkened glass. Faces no one recognized. A journal was found on the living room floor. The last page was written in shaking handwriting. Don't trust what looks back. The man who wrote that entry is still missing. Every person who entered that house gave the same statement before they disappeared. They said the air felt heavy. They said the mirrors seemed to breathe. Some said their reflections hesitated a second too long. Behind the scenes, something darker was lurking. Something ancient. Something patient. Something that doesn't live in our world, but waits for us to stand still and look into its eyes, or so it seemed. One officer quit the force the day after reviewing the footage. Another refused to go near glass again, covered every mirror in his home with cloth. 3 days later, he vanished too. The cloth was still there. His reflection wasn't. What you're about to hear is real audio, unedited, unchanged. The final recordings of those who touched the mirror and never came back. So if your screen flickers, or your reflection moves when you don't lean in. Don't get closer, because it has already found you. And once it sees you, it remembers you. Before everything went wrong, it began with curiosity. Emily Carter, 27 years old, a rising documentary YouTuber. Her channel focused on forgotten places, abandoned homes, objects with history that people prefer left untouched. In early April 2019, she attended an estate sale at the outskirts of Ashbrook County, a crumbling Victorian property belonging to the late Evelyn Hawthorne. Inside the dust-covered parlor, leaning against fading wallpaper, was a mirror, 7 feet tall, bronze frame, edges carved with symbols no one recognized. The glass was dark, almost tinted, as if something watched from the other side. Witnesses recall Emily hesitating before buying it. She asked the auctioneer why it was priced so low. He only replied, "Because no one keeps it for long." She bought it anyway. Sam Wilson, her cameraman and closest friend, filmed everything. His voice in the background, laughing it off. "Come on, it's just a mirror. If it's haunted, even better views, right?" They didn't know someone was watching them from the doorway. An elderly woman with silver hair and hollow eyes. Mrs. Agatha Hawthorne, the last surviving member of the Hawthorne family, and the mirror's final guardian. She didn't speak at first, just stared at the mirror as if it could hear them. Finally, she whispered, barely audible on camera, "Cover the mirror after midnight. It shows what shouldn't be seen." Emily asked what she meant, but Mrs. Hawthorne only turned away, whispering to herself, "It remembers every face." 3 days later, Emily contacted a local historian, Mr. Thomas Daly, known for documenting unexplained folklore in the region. He agreed to an interview. His voice, recorded by Emily, was steady, but there were moments. He paused, as if afraid the mirror might hear him. He explained the first story tied to the mirror. In 1893, Eleanor Hawthorne, a young woman of the household, was last seen standing before it. Servants claimed she screamed, but when they broke down the locked door, she was gone. The only thing left behind was a single handprint on the inside of the glass, pressed from within. After that, records mentioned strange events, family members speaking to their reflections, people turning pale and silent after looking into it too long. Some swore their reflections lingered a moment longer, as if deciding whether to follow. Mr. Daly ended the interview with this: "Mirrors don't just show us, they watch. And that one, it waits." Despite the warnings, Emily brought the mirror to her studio apartment, a small room with white walls, camera rigs, and only one window. She placed the mirror against the far wall. Sam helped set up 2 cameras, one directly facing the mirror, the other capturing the entire room. They planned to record for 7 nights, for content, for views. At 11:57 p.m. on the first night, Emily joked on camera, "If something shows up, at least it'll go viral." What she didn't know was that something was already standing behind her reflection, and it wasn't smiling. The first night passed without incident. At least, that's what Emily and Sam believed. When they reviewed the footage the next morning, they noticed the lights in the room flickered for exactly 7 seconds at 2:14 a.m. No power outage was reported in the neighborhood. At 2:16 a.m., the mirror fogged over, despite no change in temperature. Slowly, as though drawn by an invisible hand, faint words formed on the glass. "Let me in." Emily insisted it was condensation, maybe residue from cleaning spray. She wiped it away, laughing nervously on camera. But when she turned to leave, the words appeared again. This time, only visible through the camera lens. Across social media, comments began appearing beneath her upload. "Did you see that? Behind her, in the mirror. Pause at us 2:17. There's someone standing next to her. Only no one was there in the actual room." Sam dismissed it. Lighting distortion, compression artifact. But during editing, he froze the frame. In the reflection behind Emily, over her left shoulder, stood a figure. Tall, still, no eyes, just darkness where the face should be. The next morning, Emily found long, thin scratches on the mirror's surface. Not across it, but beneath the glass. By the second night, Emily set up an infrared camera. Sam reluctantly stayed. At 3:01 a.m., the camera captured Emily asleep on the couch. But in the mirror, her reflection was standing, eyes open, smiling faintly, watching the room. Then it tilted its head, slow, as if listening to something only it could hear. Sam, half awake, reported faint scratching. Not from the walls, from inside the glass. He approached the mirror with his camera. The scratching stopped. When he stepped away, it began again, louder. In the footage review the next morning, they both noticed something else. Their reflections didn't move in sync. When Emily lifted her hand to brush her hair, her reflection hesitated. A half-second delay, as though it was thinking about it first. Sam called it a glitch, frame lag, but his voice on the camera shook when he said it. By the third night, sleep was harder to find. At 3:03 a.m., every camera in the room went dark for exactly 13 seconds. When the footage resumed, Emily was standing in front of the mirror, eyes closed, whispering something no one could understand. The problem was, she had been asleep in her bedroom. The door was still locked from the inside, yet there she was, in the footage, standing inches from the glass. Her whispers, when amplified, formed scattered words. Cold, hear me, don't let her. She had no memory of it the next morning. Sam dug further. He searched archives, old newspapers, police reports. He found footage from previous owners. Grainy VHS clips, silent film reels. In each one, the same mirror, the same pattern. Families moving in. Then, suddenly, silence. Some went missing. Others were found sitting in front of the mirror for hours, unblinking, until their hearts stopped. At 2:59 a.m. on the fourth night, Sam's phone recorded an audio glitch on its own. No call, no recording app open. A whisper. Close. Right against the microphone. She can see us now. The phone dropped to the floor. The screen stayed on, and in its reflection, something else was breathing. On the fourth night, after reviewing the footage of herself standing before the mirror in her sleep, Emily broke. She fetched a large white cloth and covered the mirror completely, securing it with tape across the frame. For a moment, the room felt calm. At 2:47 a.m., the camera caught the edge of the cloth slowly shifting. Not from wind, not from touch. It drifted, as though something underneath exhaled. Sam wanted to leave. His voice shook during the recording. "Emily, this isn't worth it. We need to go." She refused. Her reply was quiet, almost numb. "If we leave now, no one will believe us. I need to know what's behind it." Sam turned off his mic, but the camera kept rolling. His hands were trembling. At 3:11 a.m., the cloth fell to the floor on its own. The mirror was uncovered. No one had touched it. Emily decided to confront it, one last experiment. She sat directly in front of the mirror at 11:59 p.m. 2 cameras on her, one microphone pinned to her collar. Sam stayed behind the doorway, refusing to enter the room. At 12:00 a.m., she removed the cloth completely. Her reflection stared back, but it didn't move when she did. Emily lifted her hand. The reflection didn't. Instead, it tilted its head, slow, deliberate, and whispered, though Emily's lips remained still. "You don't belong here, I do." The audio captured a low, sharp tone, like metal dragged against glass. A thin crack appeared at the top of the mirror. Then another. The sound was piercing, like the glass itself was screaming. Every light in the apartment went out at once. The cameras cut to static. The last visible frame showed Emily's reflection, smiling back at her while Emily sat frozen in place. No video exists of the next 3 minutes. Only audio, heavy breathing, rapid footsteps, a distant banging, like fists against glass. Sam can be heard shouting Emily's name. Then a sharp crash, glass exploding, a scream cut short. Then silence. When the emergency lights finally powered on, Sam rushed into the room. The mirror was cracked from end to end. Shattered pieces covered the floor. Emily was gone. Only the mirror remained, still standing. But in the fractured surface, her reflection was there, still, perfectly still, smiling. It blinked, but there was no Emily in the room to blink back. The official police report states that when authorities arrived, the apartment was empty. No signs of forced entry. No trace of Emily. But that wasn't entirely true. Sam remained silent for 3 days. Then, without warning, He sent an unmarked flash drive to an independent journalist. No note, no explanation. Just one video file labeled, "Don't trust the mirrors." The footage begins at 4:12 a.m., hours after the incident. Emily is standing in front of the mirror. She isn't moving. Her breathing is shallow. Her arms hang loosely at her sides, her head slightly tilted, as though she's listening to something no one else can hear. Sam's voice is shaky behind the camera. "Emily, if you can hear me, look at me, please." Slowly, she turns. Her skin looks pale, almost drained. Her eyes are entirely black. No whites, just darkness. But what the camera captures next isn't possible. Her reflection turns a moment before she does. The reflection smiles. Emily doesn't. Sam steps forward, voice trembling. "Are you okay?" Emily's lips barely move. Her voice is soft, fragile. "It's not me." Behind her, in the reflection, another figure appears, standing just over her shoulder. Its face is blurred, but its eyes are the same black void. The camera drops. The audio becomes muffled, but her whisper remains clear. "It wants you to watch. That's how it learns." Then the screen cuts to black. The last seconds of the footage return to the mirror. Alone in the dark room. No Emily. No Sam. But in the cracked surface, two reflections are visible. One of Emily, one of Sam. Neither are in the room. Emily's reflection smiles, then slowly lifts her hand. Sam's reflection does the same. But the real camera shows no one standing there. The screen glitch flickers. The sound distorts. And a final whisper, almost inaudible, bleeds through the speakers. She's still watching. The video ends there. Sam was never seen again. The mirror was taken into evidence. But 1 week later, it vanished from the police storage room. The cameras covering the evidence vault went black for 13 minutes. When power returned, the only thing left was a single handprint on the inside of the glass door, pressed from within. To this day, no one knows where the mirror is, or who might be standing in front of it right now. The official investigation came to a close 5 months later. The report stated the apartment was empty. No signs of struggle, no blood, just shattered glass, and a wall of camera equipment still recording. But something was missing. The mirror. Video logs from the evidence vault show officers placing it inside a locked container, sealing it, logging it into storage. 13 minutes of missing footage followed. When cameras returned, the container was open. The mirror was gone. Only one thing remained, a handprint from the inside of the glass door, pressed outward. Authorities classified the case as unsolved. Weeks passed. Then an anonymous clip appeared online. No username. No source. Grainy. Low resolution. Static. Flickering. Across the screen, it showed a small thrift store in a quiet town. No people inside. Just dust. Shelves. And there, against the back wall, the mirror. Its surface was cracked in the exact same pattern. The recording continued for 12 seconds. Then, a bell chimes softly. A child enters the frame, walks slowly toward the mirror. Their reflection arrives before they do. The child tilts their head. The reflection doesn't. Just as they reach out to touch the glass, the screen cuts to black. Silence. Then a whisper right against the speaker. "Don't look. If this mirror showed your reflection moving on its own, would you look away? Or would you keep watching? Let me know in the comments. And if you want part 2, Don't watch alone. Subscribe before your reflection does.